Thursday night motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club continuing for you now. Leg 2 of the doubleheader. The main course has been dished up. Now dessert's about to be served, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you to the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, home of the US Formula One and MotoGP events year on year. Tonight, home of round 6 of the Spreyton side of Super Formula Light campaign as Wings and Slicks night and, of course, Open Wheel night continues for you across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. A bit of breaking news. The $150 million Powerball tonight has gone off, but the reason I'm still here in central commentary between Formula V and Super Formula Lights is because I didn't win a single bloody cent. Absolutely rigged. At halftime in the AFL, the Swans trailing the Bulldogs 7-8-50 to 7-4-46. There are the track edition for you tonight. 2060 15 kilometre an hour winds. We've got any rain potentially on the way tonight.
Not sure because we'll have to wait for the server to tick over. I can see clouds.
Yeah,
the sky is grey. But yeah, I don't think we're raining. At least not at the start of the race.
No, at least not in Heat 1. Cars lining up on the grid now. It's 11:57 a.m. That's a weird time to be starting a race. Circuit time here, 26 degrees the ambient, 31 on track. Jackson Rayhana, Mark Gomez, the front row, Jack Humphries and Jamie Welch the second, Brett Barker, John Merritt the third. Wait until you see Jack's livery, by the way. Guy Leach, Adam Lavis the fourth, Liam Banks, Matt Schmidtke from 5. From 6, it's Adam Proctor and John Baldwin. From 7, Mark McNamara and Brett Bradbury. From 8, Aaron Bryan and Glenn Cito. From 9, Jaden Green and Greg Heaney. From 10, Aidan Schultz and Wayne Visser. So only 20 cars lining up tonight on the grid here, which is somewhat bloody disappointing given the numbers that we've had so far throughout the course of the campaign in Super Formula Light. But then again, if it's good enough for a number for Formula One, it's good enough for me. Championship standings coming into this round. Let's just quickly remind you who's doing what. Jackson Rayhana, 295. No Aidan Luthwaite on the grid tonight, 240. David Baz, 227. 204 for Adam Lavis and 189 for Brett Barker, the top 5. Right there it is. Look right in front of you. That is Jack Humphries' livery tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is a beauty. Of course, McLaren this weekend, tipping the hat, dedicating, or remembering, reflecting on the passing of Ayrton Senna in the last 7 days. The 30-year anniversary of Ayrton Senna's passing at the very start of the month, but of course we've visited the scene of such tragedy only a few days ago for Formula One. Ready to fire, race 1 of 2 for the night for Super Formula Light from Coda. Well, let's get to work. Streaming up the hill towards turn 1. Beautiful start from Jamie Welch on the inside. Rayhana's been swamped. Through they go. Oh, geez. Rayhana, Gomez, Welch it was being swamped, my apologies. Humphries is there in 4th. He managed to fend them all off and keep them at bay. Barker, Merritt, Lavis, Leach and Schmidtke with Baldwin, John that is, making up the top 10. Down the hill for the first time, we're right on board with Barker, chasing Jack Humphries.
A very clean start from everyone on the grid. No, it's Jack Humphries locks up there going in the inside. That's Welch on the outside. They've maintained their positions. Brett Barker did well not to run up the back of Jack Humphries' car there, as Mark Gomes is rapidly approaching the back of Jackson Rayhana now. And just back there, Jack Humphries looking to try and take the inside line. Does well, and will take the position with it. And that's John Merritt there in P6. And I don't know if that's my livery downloader going whack or what, but that is an interesting color scheme for John Merritt. Because usually we would see an Ejuka Toyota livery there. Maybe he didn't have the chance to do so, or maybe it's a problem on my end. But in any case, we get the gist of it. That is John Merritt shooting down the inside, and it looks like he'll go up to P5.
Almost looks like a cross between Napa and a Ejuka Toyota.
Napa, that's exactly what that is. Yep, that's that colour scheme, exactly.
Yep. And that's okay by me. Main straight again. Rayhana leads Gomez second. It's a long lap around here at Coda, 1:57. The standing time for Reihana. Gomez to the outside. So you got Gomez running the helmet and Humphries running the McLaren livery that they dedicated to Senna last week. Ayrton, of course, has been, I mean, we always seem to forget Roland Ratzenberger at this time of year. It was the same weekend, the day before. However, yes, Ayrton, the three-time world champion, celebrated, remembered by his team, McLaren. Only, well, he didn't finish with McLaren, but he won his 3 world championships with McLaren.
It's also the most famous car of his, which is the 4-4.
That's
right? So most people will remember the Williams because of its the livery scheme, the yellow, blue, and the white. But yeah, of course, it is the McLaren. It's the days of him and Prost in the same team. I mean, on paper, they were on the same team. I don't know about on track, but
no, I don't think so.
But those were some glory days of F1. And the other thing too to remember about Imola is that, like you said, we sometimes miss. Oh, it's Marc Gomez goes down the inside, but you don't really get good exit speed here. Yep, Reihana's going to hold on to that to lead into the third sector. The one thing that people forget about with Imola too is it truly was like a crazy weekend, because it was Roland Ratzenberger that died on the Saturday, and it was Senna that died on the Sunday. But not many people remember this because he didn't die, but Barrichello went into the wall at a blistering speed. He flew into the tyre barrier at, I want to say 300? In any case, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy incident. But he went to the medical tent and walked away and everything was fine. So that usually doesn't get talked about. But yeah, there was some aura that weekend. It's just, just a very unfortunate one.
And of course, ever since then, the sport has been working overtime to improve safety and standards and protocols with regards to circuits and infrastructure and everything as a result of that. So I mean, that's the legacy of Senna.
That's exactly right. That's the seed,
upgrades,
the seed
improvements,
from the
everything
fire.
else.
Exactly.
However, I again always continue to argue the point, especially when they're talking about wet weather. There is something to be said about driving to the conditions, and there is something to be said about that sign that you read as you enter any motor racing facility anywhere in the world. Motor racing is dangerous. We all know that. I'm not trying to put a morbid spin on this, of course, but at the end of the day, how safe is too safe with our sport? Because, I mean, part of the reason we sign up is because we've all got a few screws loose, right? We're all adrenaline junkies. We're all, seeking that thrill, that adrenaline rush, that excitement, that fear, that potential for danger. That's part of the rush of blood we get with it. So how far is too far? So we'll continue to have that conversation in the years ahead as well. But certainly, I mean, when you look at the days where we're losing someone every year in Formula One, I mean, we have come a long way in the on the safety front. There's no doubt about that.
For sure.
Matt Schmidtke at the moment sitting there in 8th place. A little bit of chopping and changing going on further back down the field. Good battle actually forming up behind Brett Bradbury at the moment. Jaden Green, Wayne Vizard. Jaden Green around the outside. Got him. Well played. Trouble. Greg Heaney. Greg Heaney off the road. That's not what you wanted to see. And did Adam Proctor go with him as well? Oh, yeah, he did. He got clouted. Oh, boy. Proctor and Heaney on the pit road. So that depletes the field a little bit more. Only 18 starters, no Glenn Cito, no Aidan Schultz. Liam Banks, the last of the runners on track at the moment. Aaron Bryan just ahead of him. John Baldwin's up there in 14th spot. 13th is Wayne Visser, up 7 spots already. Jaden Green up 6 spots, the biggest movers of the night thus far. 156.364 for Jackson Reihana, controlling this race just nicely from Marc Gomez and Jack Humphries. So Reihana on a mission here at the moment in the absence of Aidan Luthwaite to give himself a nice little buffer to play with in this championship fight.
Yeah, I was just about to say Aidan Luthwaite is one of the big names that is missing from tonight. session.
Quite a few names missing tonight.
There is, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm used to seeing massive grids for Super Formula Light, but it looks like this one has changed. This was also the first session in which it was not an open qualifying, but a heat qualifying, which meant that everyone qualified on a lone track. You can make the argument for both. I would say that if you're a driver, you definitely want it to be a closed track, but then of course you don't have any chance of getting a draft or anything like that, so it really does come down to you. But in any case, Rayhana's making the most of the opportunity available to him. 0.9 the gap between himself and Mark Gomes. Jack Humphries there close behind with a 0.7 gap, and then it extends to 2.6 for Jamie Welsh in P4. The closest battle is the one you are watching. That is Adam Lavis, Matt Schmicke and Guy Leach, all within a second of each other as Rayhana does a 56.577. And I think nobody's going to break the fastest time, which I believe is a 56.51 from Jack Humphries.
Up the outside, on the run to turn one, Guy Leach trying to get by Matt Schmicke. Does so, around the outside. Oh, Schmicke got him back. Jeez, they're side by side still.
So the S's are going to be...
goes on.
Who's going to hold it? Oh,
Oh, trouble, jeez.
wow, he
Guy
lived.
Leach.
He lived.
Lived to tell the tale, and it could have been 2 for the price of 1. My goodness gracious me. What a moment.
So we'll just watch all of that back. Just keep an eye here. So Guy Leach goes around the outside. You can hear the sliding there. Obviously, that's going to cost him some time. Schmicke manages to hold him. Just keep an eye on this front right. He's rocking the Valentino Rossi helmet. I like it. So here we go. Just take a look at this. That is well done not to spin that car.
Extremely well done. And just lucky if you know why. Oh boy. Guy Leach survives the scare and still remains within striking distance of Matt Schmicke. So there could be another chapter, another installment of that fight. He could get another crack at it.
Oh, wow.
He's on the limit tonight.
Wow.
And standing on the gas, lighting up the tyres, slipping and sliding all over the place. Well, I'll tell you what, maybe we don't need a wet weather race. Maybe we don't need water for this to be exciting.
Yeah, just chunk the rubber off, boys. Get rid of all of the tyre where you can. There we go. It's about as simulated as you'll get. It was once upon a time, the famous or infamous Bernie Eccleston, whichever you think, did propose that they install sprinkler systems around racetracks in order to force wet conditions.
Everyone thought he was off his head.
I mean, look.
But I didn't mind it. I'm not going to lie.
I can understand both arguments. One being going back to the safety discussion we were having before. That's not on the nice side of safety, right? Because what you're doing is you're implementing a dangerous situation, and you kind of don't want that. You want to minimize it. But you dare to argue that it wouldn't be fun. Maybe not for the drivers. Oh, but you'd be able to, like, because then you could, if you wanted to, force wet conditions on certain parts of the track, not others. Now, again, in the fairness, like in the argument of fairness, probably not the best. But it would definitely throw a spanner in the works. If you want a dynamic race, that's the best way to do it. But it probably wouldn't look good in terms of from a cost perspective. If you were going to a country that was going through a drought, it probably wouldn't look the best either, because you'd have to truck in water. So there's a whole bunch of discussions. But Bernie Eccleston was never known to be a normal man. He had insane ideas, and some of them panned out, and which is why we have the modern day Formula One that we have today. So for all his faults, he was definitely a pioneer. That was just one of the ideas that didn't make it through.
Oh dear, you could write a book on the stories, couldn't you?
Britannica.
Gomez, Humphries, still keeping Rayhana honest. 6 laps gone, so there's only 2 to go. We're still in that 1 minute 56 range. So the lap times here are steady. It's a long lap around Coda in these cars. Remember, we're not talking Formula One or IndyCar paced cars here. So it's a long lap. It makes the maths easy. it's an 8-lap opening race. Excuse me, and you're probably looking at somewhere in the vicinity of 13 laps for the second race with a splash and dash over 25 minutes. Top 10 invert as well, so that will spice things up in the early stages. That might just be my favourite livery of the season. And I'm not the world's biggest McLaren fan. Like, I want Oscar Piastri to go well, but you know, I mean, that's about it. But that is a very good livery. That is a very nice looking touch.
McLaren have... Whoa, that's Jamie Welsh going off to the side there. So Brett Barker's going to make the position. Unfortunate for him. Well, that works well for Brett Barker there. It looks like John Merritt might even be within striking distance as well.
Yes.
We'll go back and monitor that. But yeah, the McLaren's done some really good R&D work over the course of the year. They are right up there. What's really interesting, though, for me is this is not a great year for one half of the Red Bull garage.
That's right.
When you've got a teammate who is consistently winning, obviously didn't win
Miami.
Thank you, Miami. Yeah, that's spaced out. That was obviously
didn't win Australia.
Yes, that's right, because his brake decided to exit stage left in spectacular fashion, I might add. But when you've got a teammate that's putting in those types of performances and doing the old Lewis Hamilton over the radio where everything's broken, but then he sets fastest laps, and then you're finishing at the back half of the grid, that is not a good look. So for McLaren to be punching hard, and Ferrari as well, it was unfortunate there for Leclerc. He obviously got dropped at the back end, still came third, but still got dropped at the back end by Lando. I don't know what happened to Lando in those final laps, but it's like he found NOS or something, and he was just rocketing towards Verstappen, and luckily didn't have enough time. But yeah, I'm absolutely floored by the performance gain from McLaren. But the thing that hurts me the most as an Australian fan, I'm glad Piastri's doing well, but why is it that every time Ricciardo's at a bloody team, it sucks, and then he leaves and the team gets better?
Exactly. Yep.
What is it? What is it about that?
It's happened 3 or 4 times now, and it's hamstrung one of the potential great Formula One careers. I mean, we've seen what Ricciardo's been able to achieve in rubbish cars. I mean, he's got a good record. He's won a few Grand Prix along the way. He took a McLaren to a win before McLaren were any good. Now have a look down there on the inside. Humphreys for second. Thank you muchly. Have a look at that. Humphreys to second. Rayhana's gapped them. He's gone. We're into overtime. The checkered flag flies this time by. Rayhana 1.7 to the good. Humphreys trying to fend off Gomez. Here we are having a chat about McLaren, and there's a race going on in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. Humphreys on the last lap finds his way to get ahead of Mark Gomez here, and it's going to be to his benefit. Second position, last turn, checkered flag. Rayhana gets it done. Humphreys second. Gomez has to settle for third. Fourth to Barker, fifth to Walsh, sixth to Merritt, then Lavis, then Schmidtke, and in the end, Schmidtke lost to Leach. He'll come home in 9th. 10th to Jaden Green, Mark McNamara, Wayne Visser, Brett Bradbury, Aaron Bryan, then Adam Proctor and Greg Heaney. How good was that? So, Liam Banks on the pit lane after 7 laps. He was on the tow rope. John Baldwin in there after 5 laps on the tow rope. Unlucky for those 2 gentlemen. Great racing. Too good from Rayhana Clinical at the front. And Humphreys, the last gasp, probably the best overtaking spot on the racetrack in these cars. And he made it stick and he made it work. Well done. Greg Heaney, the last of the finishers, coming home in 16th. And now we'll get set for the warm-up and then for race number 2. Second half underway in the AFL. Swans and Dogs. 7.850 plays 7.446. That's the Dogs with the lead ever so slightly at the moment, but the Swans have got the first attacking chance of the second half and make it count, make it pay. Beautiful. So 8.452 plays 7.850. And the NRL at the moment in favour of the... actually, it's all locked up. It was in favour of the Dragons at halftime, 12 points to 6. Dogs have scored first in the second half. It's 12 all. Good stuff. Here at Coda, Rayhana, Humphries, Gomez, Barker, Welch, Merritt, Lavis, Schmidtke, Leach and Green invert that top 10. That's where they'll start race 2. McNamara, Vizza, Bradbury, Bryan, Proctor, Heaney, Banks and Baldwin made up the order of those who started, the last 2 being retirements. Whew, good stuff. Just going back to what you're saying, Daniel, yeah, I mean... there were so many factors that had to fall into place and came into play when Ricciardo won for McLaren at Monza, but how good it was to see that. Unfortunately, he then got put on the sideline. He's come back into the sport, but apart from that one little sprint outing in my Emmy, I think it was, it's just been a turd of a season for him, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So all the eggs, as far as the Aussies are concerned, in the Piastri basket as they go to Monaco this weekend. A big weekend, Monaco, Indianapolis for Scott McLaughlin and Will Power, of course.
And let's just touch on that.
How good was that, just quietly?
What was it? 280, 284?
Yeah. No, 234.
234, sorry, yeah, 234 on average.
234 miles an hour.
And it's funny because if you looked at it, if you look at it on paper and you didn't know, you'd go, well, they're all doing 233, so what's the big deal?
Yep.
Is average speed across an entire lap. And I'm telling you, that much of a difference over one lap is insane. And there's a reason why they're making such a big deal about it. Scott McLaughlin went from strength to strength. He obviously killed it here in our Veron V8 Supercars League, and then he went over and he really did make a name for himself. He got Rookie of the Year, I believe I have that right, he got Rookie of the Year for the IndyCar season, and then he took his first win at, no, it wasn't Texas, because Newgarden got him on the last corner.
Just 1 second. I'm going to come back to on McLaughlin once this second race gets underway. Let's bring in Greg Heaney, because he's been kind enough to jump into the booth and say hi to us. Mate, nice to see you. Unfortunate end of that first race. Just talk us through it.
Yeah, my fault. Just first off the bat, I want to apologise to Adam Proctor. That was great for a couple of corners, and then he got on the brakes harder than I expected, and I kind of sent him to the fence, as well as myself in the process. But not my strongest track. I've got about 50 seconds here before I've got to jump back to my channel and jump onto the grid, but no. But I'll persevere. I'm the only one flying the flag for us tonight, because everybody's come down with something and who knows what. So I think I need more drivers.
I think you do. Greg Heaney's on a driver mission, on a driver hunt. All right, mate, good luck. We'll talk to you at the end.
No hurry. Cheers, boys.
We'll come back to Scott McLaughlin very shortly and his IndyCar endeavours. He's going to lead the field to green on Monday morning at the Brickyard. I'm not sure how I'm going to be going after working on Sunday, but I reckon a lie down before Monaco and then just roll into Indianapolis. I think I'll be right. Green and Leach the front row. Schmidtke, Lavis the second, Merritt, Welch the third, Barker, Gomez the fourth, Humphries, Rayhana the fifth. The sixth row, here's where you'll find McNamara and Vizza, Bradbury and Bryan, Proctor and Heaney from 8, Banks and Baldwin from 9. Race 2 is green. Let's go. Great start, Matt Schmidtke, who blasts down the inside, got the better of Guy Leach, took Adam Lavis with him, the run towards turn 1, and John Merritt firing it down the inside of all of them, trying to go to third hot lap and does so. Hot lap with a blinder of a start. Lavis now getting swamped. And Merritt has to tuck in behind Guy Leach, who got the better of the run down through turn 2. 25 minutes on the clock here, ladies and gentlemen. We imagine that'll be 13 laps, no change. Oh, jeez.
There's an issue there for Guy Leach.
A bobble. No. So 13 laps, that's because we're taking, well, what we're running in race 1, 1 minute 56, so we're taking 4 seconds a lap off 2 minutes. Down the inside, Merritt, 2 for the price of 1. please, and thank you. John Merritt to the lead. Up 4 spots already. Hot laps on a mission. Cars off at the back, 3 wide down at the front. We can't leave this just yet. Doesn't look like we're going to have any rain. Looks like we got lucky here. At the Coda circuit, 4 wide on the run out of the braking area. Merritt's going to hold on for the moment. Oh, this is going to be one hell of a showdown. It's going to be on in earnest in the early stages. Merritt leads, Schmidtke, Green, Leach, Gomez, Humphries, Rayhana, Schmidtke to the inside, Leach to the inside, Green left to settle for 4th. Actually, he got 3rd in the end. He got the better of Guy Leach. Leach now under pressure from Gomez. Humphries is there as well. That is awesome. 152 gone. So we're taking 13 fours of 52 seconds. So that gets you back to 13 laps in 25 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And that's before you take into the account a splash and dash. So we might do a minute of overtime, but we're going to go 13 minutes. 13 laps, sorry, over 25 minutes. Down the inside to turn 1.
Oh, no, Jack Humphries.
Trouble gone. Jack Humphries, is it Guy Leach rather, has thrown it around.
Oh, sorry, yes, no, that was Guy Leach. It was
Guy Leach has looped it. The other blue and yellow.
Yeah,
I'm with you. 2:30 gone. Oh dear, John Merritt the leader. Schmidtke, Gomez, Humphries. Pit stops here. The slash and dash so critical. So crucial to the equation. So, yeah, to go back and rationalise the logic, 13 by 2 is 26, minus 4 seconds a lap. So that brings you back to 25.08. Throw in the pit stop, and you're well and truly over that 25-minute threshold. So, yes, they will get the white flag somewhere in that 25th minute. And I hope Barney's waving the bloody thing this time round, unlike his absence in Formula V. Down the back straight, I should say, we go. We're riding with Rayhana in 5th place, looking out the back to Lavis and Green. Lavis trying to get down on the inside of Green, tucks back in, thinks better of it. Now gets the toe from Rayhana. Will he have a dive under brakes on Green? No. Oh, yes, why not? Didn't pull it off, though. Didn't cover it off. Rayhana is 5th. That's awesome. Green, Lavis, Banks, Proctor, Leach, then McNamara, Bradbury, Baldwin, Bryan, Heaney, Vizza.
Get the lead there from Merritt too. Right off the gate, 1.1 seconds. He is just gone with it now.
Not looking back now.
Yeah,
no.
Schmidtke's done the same to Humphries. So I'm curious if they'll be able to collapse this. For race 2, I believe a pit stop is warranted for the Super Formulas, so that might have something to pay at the back end. 158.1, the fastest lap now from Humphries in that Senna-inspired livery. Jaden Green and Adam Lavis trade places, but for a moment, Green will be on the inside. Yes, he does. And going through this section, there isn't really much. I mean, you can go side by side if you're brave enough, but for the most part, not something you want to do in a high G corner section like that. So Merritt's still in the lead, and Humphries with that fastest lap has managed to bring the gap down under 1 second to Schmidtke. So the fight per second is still well and truly on.
Indeed it is, and it's on in earnest. We picked up Jaden Green. We're looking back to Adam Lavis. He's got Liam Banks in pursuit. Adam Proctor's there as well, and so too Guy Leach.
Oh, that's huge!
Oh, no, that's Leach. That's extraordinary. That's an enormous shot. Banks and Proctor. And was Leach involved in that temporarily at the start, I think? Proctor's gone. Forget about that. Banks is on the tow rope. Night done for the pair of them. Let's have a look at this again. A very early pit stop for...
Oh, he lost traction.
Oh.
Right, okay.
And Banksy has sent Proctor down the road. He understeered into the corner and lit it up on the exit. Gone. Oh,
Look at the damage. Oh,
what a ride that is through Adam Proctor. They're both out. They're both done. Brett Barker's parked up as well. We are down to 15, ladies and gentlemen. Down to 15 in the early stages here. Jamie Welch stopped early, looking to get clear traffic. Stopped for 3.57 and was out again. Back out there, tail of the field. Merritt leads Schmidtke. Humphries the fastest lap of the race, 157.358. We're on lap 4 of 13. 10 to go.
Yeah, Schmidtke has dropped back in the lap times. This is allowed Jack Humphries to get right up there. And he's just drifting out wide as well. So I wonder if Schmidtke's having some handling trouble with that car. In any case, as they go down towards that back straight, you can see it on the track map there. The top rightmost corner, the hairpin. This is where the draft is most effective on this track. Hard on the brakes here. Humphries will look to try and V this corner on the outside, extend. Very good. And now this is where the draft effect is at its strongest. You'll see Jack Humphries shoot out to the left-hand side. Now he'll have to be right there in his braking zone. Too much. You lock up those tyres and you'll absolutely ruin them. Here we go. That's very nice. Jack Humphries gave him 1 car width and 1 car width only. And that has allowed him to take that position. So moves up into P2 and Schmidtke!
Oh, no. Schmidtke's thrown it round. He's looped it. And that is going to cost him a fair bunch of spots. Green goes by, Leach goes by, Lavis goes by, Schmidtke done. Down back into 8th place. McNamara, Baldwin and Bradbury in behind that. And this is how it happened for Matt Schmidtke. Good call from Daniel Correa-Sarr. Oh, geez, it looked like he just gave Humphries a tap. That unsettled him, and luckily didn't unsettle Humphries. Schmidtke pays the price.
I cut on to Guy Leach at the most opportune moment. I don't think I can go back, unfortunately. Enough. Let me see if I can do this, because so we cut to Guy Leach as he was coming around the final corner. So bear with me a moment as they make their way through this entire section. So here he goes through that last sector. And when I cut across after we saw the replay there from Schmidtke, Guy Leach was well and truly sideways, but he kept it, which he's been showing promise over the course of tonight's session. So just have a look at him here coming around the final turn, and look at that, beautiful.
Oh, jeez. If you're not convinced that these guys aren't having a crack tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that they're not on the ragged edge, that should tell you otherwise. Have a look at the slipstream effect.
Close enough.
Have a look at the toe. Leach to the inside. Leaves it very late on the brakes. Too late. Too deep. Gone. Did he gather it up? Somehow, yes, but he's too tight for the next corner. Lavis is having to play the game for the moment, goes to the outside. Allows Leach to defend, continuing to defend the line.
And one of the things too I'll just point out is, if the George Russell was in that green car, you would have heard a radio call.
That's right.
Saying, he overtook me on track. Actually, I pick up... Ooh, he got real close. I pick on George Russell, but they all do it. Look, when you're talking about that, you know, when you're talking about that much money and that high of a pinnacle of motorsport, like, you're gonna do everything you can to get what you can get, right? I don't blame them for doing that, but sometimes it does feel like it's like, shut up and race. Shut up and race.
Right. Exactly. Just shut up and race. Shut up and drive. Oh boy. Now, you're asking about Scott McLaughlin, of course, second in that first race to Joseph Newgarden at the Texas Motor Speedway that we're talking about. Didn't score another podium in that 2021 season. In 2022, St. Petersburg, of course. That's the breakthrough.
Yes.
Mid-Ohio, Portland, and then the last two in Birmingham, Alabama at the Barber Motorsports Park circuit. So 5 race wins to his name, and now a pole position for the greatest spectacle in racing, the 108th running in the Indianapolis 500. That will be awesome to watch on Monday morning. You'll see it live and free. No, not live and free, but you'll see it live and ad break free over on Stan Sport.
And the other thing too.
Thankfully for me, I've got a Stan Sport subscription. I got it for the Speed Series a couple of seasons ago, and also IndyCar. And even though the Speed Series is now over on 7, Stan can continue to take my money just so I can watch IndyCar.
Yeah, the other thing too is with Indianapolis. So Indianapolis 500, of course, as you said, it's one of the world. I mean, it might be. Would we argue it's the most famous race? Like in terms of prestige, or
yeah,
would it be?
Look, there's probably a couple of them that are on level pegging.
Because like it's part of the Triple Crown, right?
500, but yes,
right.
no, you're right. Triple Crown.
So
you got the Monaco Grand Prix, you got the Indianapolis 500. The other jewel in the crown's the Le Mans, but it's not obviously for a few more weeks. But the triple header encompasses the Coca-Cola 600 for NASCAR as well. So I mean, we've got so much to look forward to this weekend, and of course Formula 2 and Formula 3. You've got some state level racing here in Australia. You've got MotoGP on Sunday night as well. So from Magello, which will be awesome.
Yeah. And just to finish up that point, so with some people, they'll look at something like the Indianapolis 500 and they'll go, I don't really get it. It's, they're only turning one direction. How good could it possibly be? I implore you, as Liam Banks says, I hate motorsport. I mean, it's rough when, you veer off, unfortunately, into another competitor. It's rough. But yes.
Apologies too, by the way. I just want to run a correction. It's Grand Prix de Catalunya this Saturday, this Sunday, Saturday and Sunday night for MotoGP.
Yeah.
The Italian round at Magello is next weekend, so it's back-to-back for MotoGP, but it's Catalunya first, then Magello.
But yeah, I implore you, if you haven't seen an Indy 500 before, or maybe if you've never seen IndyCar before, I implore you, if you can't watch it live, I get cut up there as Matt Schmidtke loses his front wing.
Yes, Matt Schmidtke and Jaden Green as well. Matt Schmidtke involved in his second incident in the race, but that one unfortunately took a bystander with him. And so Schmidtke with the broken front wing, no doubt coming to pit lane this time by, and John Merritt's just started the 8th lap of the motor race. The leader's in no hurry to get to the pit lane just yet. Jackson Rayhana's 3.6 away from John Merritt. They've started lap 8. Schmidtke to pit lane. Up until that point, the top 11 were yet to stop. Brett Bradford, the only one other than that to yet to transit the lane. Merritt, Humphries, Gomez, Rayhana, the top 4. Rayhana had the fastest lap of the race, 157.530. Humphries went through the 157.358, but that wasn't counted. Must have been a track limits issue. So plenty happening here as Greg Heaney pops up onto our screen there in 9th place. Jaden Green and Matt Schmidt get a pit lane. In and out they go. Unlucky for Jaden Green.
Yeah, just getting tapped on the back there by Matt Schmidtke, so adds worse there for Schmidtke.
Can I just say as well, I'll like
no, there
goes John Merritt. There goes the race leader.
What is up tonight? What is going on?
Merritt is having a shocker. Have a look at this again. John Merritt, in a winning position, has looped it and thrown it down the road.
What is it with him in corners? Sharp corners. It's the brakes. I wonder if he's just got an issue with his pedals. That is not something you generally see with John, but in three times in those types of corners.
Jaden Green's off the ride now as well.
Yes. Let's see what happened
and
to
on
him.
The tie, right.
He came into the pits, comes out of the pits. I don't think he changed tyres. Too short of a pit stop for that. Wow, no, just straight around. Now it says he's in the pit lane. Oh no, don't.
Hang on,
No,
keep following this. Let's see where it comes really unstuck and properly goes.
Yeah, because
you know what up.
It says he's in the pit lane. So what happened?
Yeah. Is he going to get a sausage?
Oh my god! Oh boy! Wall, fence, wall. Okay.
Bang! Tyre wall and engine. That's it. Jaden Green's night's done. That answers that question. Oh boy! Having only just got the fast repair, he smashes the sausage curb and his night is done. Maybe he was just auditioning for a place in the highlight reel, and he certainly got it. Well done. 8.5 minutes to go. We're on lap 9. Gomez leads Rayhana. Oh, hang on. Actually, now, how has this happened? More to the point, Gomez and Rayhana. So let's have a look. John Merritt, of course, threw the lead away. Gomez and Rayhana are now locked in battle. I don't think there's been any incidents. I think it's just that Rayhana's managed to latch onto the back of Gomez whilst we've been looking at replays, whilst a few of the contenders have trickled out of contention. I'll echo what Daniel was saying earlier. I implore you to sit down and watch the Indianapolis 500 at some point, even in replay or highlight form, folks, because it is one of the great spectacles in world motorsport. But more to the point, there's an Aussie calling it. Lee Diffie is going to be commentating it on Monday morning. It's his 6th Indy 500 call. Mate, the Indy 500 for me, I mean, the Americans have been a little bit bland with their delivery of it in recent years. Take nothing away from Alan Bestwick. He was probably the leader of the crop. But Diffie has eclipsed that. Him and the NBC Sport crew have put in a superb job as Rayhana comes to pit lane, the first to pull the trigger here, apart from his teammate Jamie Welch, who went on lap 1. Jack Humphreys went last time round, so Rayhana to pit lane. I feel as though the coverage has had new life breathed into it since it's moved away from ABC. It had Marty Reid there for a little while, then Alan Bestwick took over from him in terms of leading the play-by-play. The analysts with ESPN, ABC were, of course, Eddie Cheever and Scott Goodyear. Don't take nothing away from them, but it was as stale as a bottle of urine. At least with Townsend Bell and now used to be Paul Tracy, now James Hinchcliffe, there's a little bit of life being breathed into it. The guys are enjoying it. They sound upbeat. They're up vibe, interesting, keeping everybody, tuned in, grabbing everybody's attention and encouraging them to stay tuned in. You weren't getting that with ABC and ESPN. So it's been a good move for IndyCar to go to NBC. And, of course, with an Aussie calling the action, and Diffie's one of the best callers in the world.
Oh, for sure. I agree. His voice is so unique. And I was actually quite taken aback because I hadn't watched IndyCar in many a year, and I only just got into it back in the 2021 series. McLaughlin was going over, and I thought, oh, this is better times. I need to pay attention. And yeah, the hairs in the back of my neck stood up when I watched that first broadcast and Lee Diffie's voice came on, because it had been many a year since I heard that man speak. He obviously commentated our own V8 Supercars when he was back in Australia, and then to hear his voice again, I was very pleased to hear that. And also, the only thing I'll take away from the Americans is I understand that advertising is crucial, but please, can we maybe have the race at least no ads? Like, the F1 model works so well.
Nice. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because you're like, I'm going to sit down and nothing is going to interrupt this while the race is going on. Like, practice is fine, qualifying is fine. I get it. Yes, he just went wide there, So I get it. Ads, yes, you need money. I get it. Revenue, cool, fine, whatever. But please, with the race, just let the race go uninterrupted. Indianapolis is one thing,
at least here in Australia, we do see it uninterrupted, but there's absolutely no commentary in
the breaks. Yeah, that's right, because they're getting the feed from Peacock.
That is where we're dropping the ball. That's where the US, they need to be able to put some commentary into that, into those gaps, and find some way in which they can continue to broadcast to their international audience while their local audience do go and pay the bill.
It's interesting you say that, because if you've ever, and it's unlikely that people would watch it in this way unless they had access to an IPTV account or anything like that. But if you watch IndyCar from Sky Sports, that's exactly what they do. They have a local broadcaster who speaks into them before the race starts, then announces the NBC team are coming, cuts over to the NBC team, and then when they go on break, they go back to the Sky Sports broadcasters to fill in that gap, and then they cut forward. So it never breaks up that. You never get that weird pause.
Yep, agreed. And it is a weird pause. It's just, I'm all for the ambience, and you still get to soak all that in. But yeah, it's just not the same. Just not the same. All right, we continue on here. Jeez, are we actually watching the racing tonight, or are we just having a chat between mates? 3.5 minutes to go, just like that. And Gomez into pit lane. This is the critical stop of the race because Jackson Rayhana and Jack Humphries are coming. Now, Humphries has pipped Rayhana in the pit stop sequence. Humphries has got the better of Rayhana as Leach, Lavis and co come to pit lane. John Merritt as well. There is Humphries, there is Rayhana round onto the main straight. The margin Humphries to Rayhana is what you've got to keep an eye on here. Let's have a look at the other side of that. Here's Gomez as well. Humphries is going to lead him to turn 1 on the penultimate lap. Rayhana's going to have to settle for third, unless he can find a way by Gomez and or Humphries on the final 2 laps. But given that Humphries has got that 1 second of breathing space, good luck.
Yep, problem here for Mark Gomes is that he's coming out of the pits. The temperature will have dropped in those tyres slightly. They're not going to have as much grip as Rayhana or Humphries, but he's doing a really good job to hold Rayhana at bay now as they make their way to the final laps of this race. Humphries with a decent lead. Now, he's got to try and keep this nice and clean because, as we've demonstrated time and time again here at Coda, the draft is killer on this back straight, and you will notice that time alongside Mark Gomes' name will get shorter and shorter as they progress to the end of this straight. Rayhana's also in a good spot now as well. So the best thing that can happen for Humphries is that Rayhana gets into an attack position quicker than Gomes can do to him, and then those two fighting will increase the lead that Humphries has now, or those two can play it kind of safe and try and gain up more time to Humphries, and then all three fight it out towards the end of this race. We will see how it evolves as they just make their way into Sector 3 now.
So Humphries, Gomes and Rayhana, and it's 1.08 seconds covering the 3 of them. This has all the right ingredients to be an absolute belter of a last lap from the Circuit of the Americas. Strap yourself in, folks. We're going around one more time. White flag in the air. Let's go. There he is. He didn't get to Snetterton, but he's found his way to Coda. Good on you, Barney. Better late than never. Lazy prick. No, Humphries, Gomez, Rayhana, and Leach to turn 1. Lavis is there in 5th place. Merritt, Welch, Schmidtke, Baldwin, McNamara, Heaney, Visser, Bryan, and Bradbury. The rest of them done for the night. Green, Proctor, Banks, and Barker. So 14 finishes here at Coda, provided that everybody gets through this final lap. And what a lap it promises to be. Humphries holding on. Oh, Gomez, let's have a look. Threw a couple of tyres off onto the AstroTurf there. Kept the boot into it and keeps Humphries honest. And he's right in the position here. Oh, gee, gone! Can you believe it? He was setting up perfectly to have a crack down the back straight to get the better of Humphries in the slipstream in the draft. And he's unfortunately given him a tap going into the corner and paid the price. Oh, jeez. Can you believe that? Hopes of victory up in smoke. That'll do me, Daniel. That's... Yeah, he will settle for 3rd. Rayhana will continue his consistent run on route to a championship triumph, potentially, with a 2nd place here. But at the front, up 8 spots on where he started. It's going to be a winner piece for the night. Humphries and Rayhana. Last turn, checkered flag. The McLaren livery is going to victory lane, and it's going to Jack Humphries. Rayhana second, well done. Third place is going to go to Gomes, fourth to Leach, fifth to Laver, sixth to Merritt, then Schmidtke, Welch, Baldwin and McNamara the 10. Quickly want to go around the grounds, 3/4 time in Sir Doug Nichols round at Marvel Stadium, 12:6.78. The Swans lead the Bulldogs 8:11.59 with 1/4 to play. The Bulldogs thumping the Dragons at the moment in Thursday night NRL as well, 40 points to 12 with 9 minutes to play. And here at Coda, Jack Humphries has doubled up on the podium front tonight, a second and a first. Jackson Rayhana a first and a second. And Jack Humphries is celebrating victory here in race 2 of round 6 of the Super Formula Lights with some burnouts. Excellent stuff. Well done. Well done. 5 race winners in the night, ladies and gentlemen. Cedo, Merritt, Lavis, Rayhana and Humphries. That's why we love Thursday Night Motorsport. The best ticket in town. Great racing. I mean, we just sat here and had a good chinwag about American broadcasting and Scott McLaughlin and a few other things, and there was actually
and then a race broke
compelling sort of race going on.
The race broke out. Yep.
It's sort of kind of arrived at that processional stage, and then someone flicked the switch. It was good. It was good. Greg Heaney's about to rejoin us. I don't think there'll be too much in the way of discussion to be had tonight. Daniel, we might get an early mark here. Greg Heaney, good evening to you once more. Race 2, better than the first?
Yeah, I actually finished 10th. I think, I'm trying to think who it was. One of the guys ran out of fuel before the line.
Oh, dear. Now, that would have been Jamie Welch. Jamie Welch
I think it might have been
on the final lap. Jamie Welch was on his way back through the field, ran out of fuel on the run to the checkered flag, and finishes 12th. Limped to the line in 12th. Unlucky for him.
I reckon probably had
his fortune is your fortune, mate, because he stopped on lap 1. That was probably the downfall. He stopped on lap 1. He had to do 12 laps on that stint, and unfortunately, she was running on fumes. But from your standpoint, race 1 forgotten, race 2 far better, up 6 spots and a good charge.
Yeah, I was kind of just maintaining it at one point. Having a couple of little tussles here and there when I was near somebody, but apart from that, I was just trying to keep it pointing in the right direction. As mentioned before, not one of my best tracks, but still a great track to drive, especially in the higher downforce cars. But no, happy with the 10th. Hopefully to see more of the boys on track next week. I think we're at Montreal next week, which is always a good track to run on.
Let's remind everybody actually of what's coming up. Watkins Glen next week. Watkins Glen for 40 minutes, and then sprint racing from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Then on to Road America. That will be fun for 60 minutes. And then on to the Detroit Grand Prix at Belle Isle Circuit in Detroit, Michigan. That will be a nice way to round out the season, but being a concrete canyon, someone's bound to bite the dust. Where is your championship hopeful? Where is Aiden Luthwaite? What's going on?
Apparently strep throat.
Oh.
Yeah. Us within WBR have some idea of what it probably stems from, but what time is it? 20 to 10. Probably not worth mentioning right now.
No, you can get away with it because we're past that 7:30 threshold on the West Coast if you want to.
If anybody takes note of the little caricature on the side of Aiden's SFL wing on the back of the car, he doesn't mind enjoying some of the green. We probably think it's probably too much.
Oh dear. Okay.
So we think half the time while he's racing, he's probably enjoying it a little bit before the race, and probably not as we go. Probably like between races. We have encouraged him not to try and do it whilst he drives.
But if it works,
it's working so far. No, I mean, I think as far as I know, Aiden messaged us and said, I'm not going to make tonight. Not entirely sure where Jackson is. Fred couldn't make it tonight. He's looking after his better half, doing the husbandly thing. So I'm the lonely one flying the flag tonight.
That's the sort of thing I don't have to worry about, and given recent events, won't have to worry about. So, although that being said, can I just say, I was away last week because I was attending my neurosurgeon appointment. I've already made mention that I'm in the clear there, and I've already put up a Facebook post about that. And just today, I went and saw my. I went and had the chance to put up on Facebook some photos from the second event I attended over the weekend while I was home, and that was the wedding of my beautiful friend Dana and her other half Daniel, husband and wife now. After only 2 years of dating, they didn't muck around. They liked what they saw, and they've said let's do this. Signed on the dotted line, away they go. Dana's already now planning a trip up here to go to the football with me when the Swans play the Lions in July. So I'm excited about that. That's all been locked in very quickly tonight. So no. Congratulations to those guys, but yes, rather than me, given my track record with the other sex at the moment. Anyway, or lack thereof. Greg, let's straighten up and talk motor racing for a moment. Good luck to Fred Kahn as well. Brownie points are always needed. I'm led to believe, depending upon how many men I've spoken to that are in those sorts of arrangements, marriage, relationship, etc. You're always looking for brownie points. Greg, the rest of the stable, as you say, missing in action tonight. Next week, what are their initial thoughts on Watkins Glen? What are your initial thoughts on Watkins Glen?
I really enjoy Watkins. I really like the track. I'm hoping to get as much practice in between now and then, with also juggling moving house, so that's going to be interesting. Just need to get the word from the real estate agent as to when or if we have the property that myself and my partner are actually looking to get into, being that the landlord said nope, sell on the house, and then sold it out from under us. It's like, yay, thanks, now I've got to find a house. So
Jesus.
So between packing and work, sorry for using the W word.
No.
And apart from packing and doing that, I've got to try and fit some practice in somewhere. So we've got SRX tomorrow, which not really any practice for that. It's just get in it and send it. And then Suzuka Monday for the GTs. That's always good. I've got to get some practice in there. And then probably start packing at some point, but I've got to make a start on it. So I'm really looking forward to more of the SFLs, and particularly the other races that I partake in through the GSRC. And I haven't heard from the other guys as to what their feels are. I know Aiden and myself did some practice for Detroit during the week. That is going to be a very interesting race, especially through turn 1.
Yes. Yep. Watkins Glen's one of those circuits fraught with danger. There's no doubt about that. And you're going to have to be careful, not just at turn 1, but up through 2 and 3, and then obviously the bus stop as well. Before we get to Jackson Rayhana and talk about the night that was, talk to me about what else is coming up with the stable. You mentioned, of course, and by the way, you're more than welcome to mention the W word when it's work. There are a couple of W words that aren't allowed to be mentioned on broadcast, and coincidentally, one of them also ends with K, just like work does, but that's another story. Greg, talk to me about what else is coming up for the stable, including GT3 next Monday night, please.
Well, particularly GT3 next Monday, so probably a whole bunch of practice in for that. With any luck, we should be able to get all of us on track, I hope. So that'll be 6 of us again, being we managed to pick up Andrew Neal. He was looking for a team to jump into. He posted that in the GSRC Enduro Series Discord channel. He posted it about a month or 2 ago and nobody hit him up, so I'm like, all right, I'll hit you up. And he's like, yeah, sure, why not? So, and then it happened to be as Adam mentioned on Monday night, which you weren't around for, he was on stream for a bit, and it was his first race in the pro split, and Adam pulled out Greg's grabbed out the checkbook again.
Yes. Oh dear! Actually, no. I was here for Nürburgring. It was last week that I missed. So
Oh, that's right. Yes, I did pop into channel. Unfortunately, because it was such a late night and I'd work in the morning, I couldn't hang around. So that's probably
right.
why I didn't know about.
Yes, no, we didn't get a chance to chat with you. I did notice you arrive and depart very quickly, but that explains why, mate. And let's be honest, 11 laps around the old Nürburgring was a fair slog for most of us.
Oh yeah, I mean it's one of those tracks that you're either fast or you're not, but it's always good to drive. I mean, for me, it's consistency is what I'm aiming for. I mean, I think in GT3s at the moment, I'm probably a little bit slower than I was in the previous season, being that I've switched to the Lamborghini. But I think that's just me. I'm not saying the car's slow. There's other guys driving it that are faster than me in it, so it's definitely not the car. But no, I think more practice, more seat time is probably just what's going to get me better. But GT3 is definitely looking forward to the Corvette coming. I'm going to be all over that like flies on you know what.
Yep. Well, actually, it's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because we're now going to have nine manufacturers to play with. I mean, there hasn't been a lot of love for the McLaren or the Ford in recent times, but I think with the GT being phased out in favour of the Mustang, that'll change. But Corvette's going to be a big game changer in GT3, unlike anything we've seen for a while.
Oh, most definitely. I would not be surprised if round 1 of the new season is
Corvette v Mustang.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if it was an all-American assault.
I'm okay with that.
Or at least a fair chunk of it anyway.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's still going to be those that have a fair bit of love for the Bimmer, for the
you're not going to be able to
Audi and the Ferrari.
Sure.
You're not going to get rid of them. The old Lambo might be on struggle street, so too might the McLaren. But those two, Corvette and Ford, keep an eye on them at the start of the new season. Not sure about the Audi, and I know there's one I'm missing at the moment, but the Merc, of course, they're the other two. So, but I reckon BMW, Ford, Corvette, and as we say, possibly the old Audi will still get some love. The rest of them, yeah, it'll be interesting. Oh, Ferrari, of course, we can't forget about Ferrari.
Yep, and unless they sneakily drop in the new McLaren, you probably won't see the MP4.
No.
But I will do my best to make sure I put plenty of yellow on our Corvettes for you.
Yep. Well, I was going to say I'm actually a little bit disappointed. The only thing that would have made me happier about that is if you had said Mustang, not Corvette, Greg. But anyway.
Winners can't be choosers, hey?
No, you'll have a play in the Ford, no doubt, at some point.
Maybe. I'm a GM man all the way through, man.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And that's the thing. You grow up in Australian culture. You're either one or the other. You can't be both. Mate, good on you. Well done tonight. Well done on persevering with it more than anything else. That looked challenging, especially the opening race. But nice redemption in race 2. Go and enjoy the weekend, mate. We'll see you Monday.
No worries. Cheers, boys.
Jackson Rayhana, good evening to you. A first and a second. Happy with that?
Yeah, mate. Good evening. Yeah, look. First of all, I'm glad to see the back end of Coda.
Oh.
That is
not
honestly,
a fan.
On my list of tracks, I think it's fair to say that Coda sits very, 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 very close to the bottom of the barrel. But either way, it's it's a track. It's got corners. It's got a heck of a lot of runoff.
Yep.
It's got a heck of a lot of curbs that can kill you, and it's got a heck of a lot of spots you can, yeah. Anyway, the more I go on about it, we hear all night. It'll be like you on daylight savings.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started. It's too early in the year.
Yeah, anyway, first and foremost, awesome. Big ups to Jack Humphries. He's been nipping at my heels for the last couple. Well, Monza he was. Suzuka last round, unfortunately, he missed. He was right on under my back wing at the end of the feature, and yeah, he got over the line first tonight. So all credit to him. He just a bit quicker in those hotter conditions. But yeah, no, he drove awesomely tonight, and same with Mark. Shout out to Mark Gomez as well. He was very, very, very fun to race with tonight, and yeah, it was actually ended up being a good little field.
Indeed, it did. I mean, the numbers have dropped away a little bit, but the cream always rises to the top. The quality of the field remains, Jacko, and that's probably a good thing, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, even in the absence of Aidan Luthwaite, you had to work hard tonight.
100%, like, you know, and if it's not Luthwaite, it's someone like Dench, and you know, if it's not Dench or Luthwaite, it's Jack Humphries or Mark Gomez. Like, there's always going to be someone, even at the point end of the field, there's always going to be someone to race against, and yeah, I'm just having so much fun with this series. It's, you know, opportunities where, you know, I might have missed around during the season. I was like, nah, I've got to find a way to make it in, and yeah, we've made it happen. We've been, you know, here for the whole season, and yeah, it's been a joy learning these cars.
Your teammate Jamie Welch, not happy with how it ended, no doubt, because he decided to go the alternate strategy, pit on lap 1, get some clear air, and then unfortunately just ran out of juice on the last lap, we understand.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't have a choice. Run over, unfortunately, on lap 1. So yeah, damage, you had to fix it. So he came in, filled up, and yeah, I think it was about 1 lap short, or probably half a lap short on fuel. He tried to save a little bit, and to his credit, had a lot of pace even when he was saving. So yeah, no, it was a good effort by him all night. And yeah, I'm just glad to have him back. But unfortunately, I think he goes away for another 2 weeks now, and yep, we'll see him, I think, toward the end of the season.
Indeed. All right, Watkins Glen's next, mate. What are your thoughts?
It's not Coda, so that's a great start. Yeah, so Watkins is cool. I love it. We've got a good history. I think as a team, we've got a good history there. These cars will be fun, I think. Do you know if it's the bus stop?
It's the boot. It's the boot.
Is it the boot with the bus stop, or just straight?
Oh, that's a very good question.
No, it's actually the classic, so it goes straight.
So no boot, no boot.
Yeah, see, that's gonna make it very interesting, because that is a lot of full throttle. That's gonna be basically full throttle all the way from turn 1 up to. Oh geez, 1, 2, 3, probably up to, I think, turn 4, the embankment, like that fast right-hander, the speed bowl. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of drafting. It's going to be very, very important to get that 6-7 gap out of the car behind. Otherwise, I think even if you know, half a second, even maybe 6/10 ahead of the car behind you, he's probably going to gobble you up well before you get to the braking zone. So yeah, I think next week is going to be very, very interesting in terms of racing, and yeah, it's going to be good fun.
And what Greg Heaney was just talking about with regards to the Corvette and the Mustang making their presence known in GT3 fields from the end of this season, start of next season, mate, does that entice you to come back and have a play on a Monday night or not?
Yeah, mate. Look, I said to the team actually not long ago, like, in order to, I think the next level for me is getting good in a car, something, you know, like a tin top of GT3, because that's really where that is where a lot of the really, really fast iRacing guys, that's what they race all the time. So, you know, I'm always find myself in a spot where I'll jump into a GT3 car and I'll be absolutely nowhere. Unless it's Bathurst. Like we had a good run at Bathurst last week. But yeah, like anywhere else, I'm pretty much nowhere. So I think that is the next step for me, is to jump into a GT3, really give it some time, and really, yeah, try and get a bit quicker and try and, you know, challenge the guys like Merritt, Dench. You know, they've been good enough to come over to the Super Formulas, my type of car, and they've been very, very quick and very, very difficult to beat. So yeah, now I guess I've got to go over there and to their favourite cars and do the same.
Indeed you do. Oh, well, you don't have to, but if you want to, then the invitation is there and the opportunity presents itself. Last one before I let you go. When you look at the series so far, and you look at the fact that Aiden Lukewaite's missed tonight, are you in a position now where you're starting to think that maybe this title's within your grasp, or are you not getting that comfortable, that cocky just yet?
I want to get comfortable. Like I know after last week, like Lukewaite had he DNF'd the feature, which really, like after Monza, like he hadn't had a bad round before this. Since Monza, round 1, or he DNF'd that one as well. So watching that closely, like that would have been his drop round. So even if like he, DNF'd Monza, like he was still on track to be a very, very worthy contender of the title. And unfortunately, he had a bit of a shocker last week. So now it's given me that sort of breathing room, I guess, back, but it's definitely not over yet. Like if he comes back and I have a couple of shockers and he continues the form that he's shown pre-Suzuka, the championship's still wide open.
Indeed it is. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season has in store for us, mates, and hopefully I'm just hoping we get another wet race at some point, because whenever we throw the just add water treatment to it, it seems to spice things up just nicely. Are you disappointed by the decline in numbers here, or is this a good number now?
Oh look, I'm big on having as big a field as possible. Like of course I'd rather see a field of 40, 45, whatever cars, as opposed to 20. Like 20 is still a pretty good number. I think we had 18 starters I think tonight in the final, which was it's a pretty good number. It's more modest of course than what you got the first rounds, but it's a pretty fair number. And as you said, there's a fair bit of quality in there as well. No matter who turns up or who comes to race every week, there's always going to be someone to race against for not just me but for everyone. So yeah, look, I encourage people to keep going at it. Now that Coda's gone off you don't have to worry about Coda anymore. That might have been to be honest, I think it might have been a turn off for some guys, because
so Coda to you is what Sebring is to Nick Vodiatis, is that what you're saying?
Oh, 100%. Like if they were to get a B2 stealth bomber and fly over it and drop bombs all over it, I wouldn't be. Look, I'm not going to be losing any sleep over that. As long as there are no people, of course. As long as people are far away watching, enjoy. I'll probably have my binoculars and popcorn a few kilometres off into the distance, for looking at the fireworks show. But anyway, again, if I talk about how bad Coda is, I'll be here all night, and it'll end up spiralling into a conversation about daylight savings.
We can go there if you like. I've got time.
No, not until the end of the season.
Yeah, I can cover that. End of the season, lock it in. We will have a chat about that for sure. Which is, of course, what are we looking at? It'll be Thursday, June 21. Sorry, no, can't be right. Thursday, June 20, when we reconvene here on season finale night. Remembering that we got the 30th of May, the 6th of June, the 13th of June, and then the 20th of June to get through just yet. 4 rounds to go, and it's looking good. Hey, Jackson, well done, mate. Congratulations. Another great result, another good showing, and looking forward to seeing you put the full stop and the icing on the cake on this one.
Yeah, thanks, mate. It'll be, you know, again, it'll be a tough slog. It won't be easy, but yeah, look, if I commit myself to a championship, I'll be disappointed if I don't come out with the gold. So yeah, we'll keep at it, and yeah, be a spicy end of the season, hopefully.
All right, very nicely done. Just stick there with me for a second. For those of you that are still dotting the I's and crossing the T's, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have 9 different manufacturers available to our competitors in GT3 for waste options next season. So the Corvette's going to join the ranks, including, well, what's already there, Audi and BMW, McLaren and Mercedes, Lamborghini, of course. And then on the back end of that, you've got Ferrari, Ford, and there's one that I'm missing, BMW. So yeah, Audi, McLaren, Lamborghini, Mercedes, Ferrari. Yeah, I think I've covered them all. Have I missed one along the way there, Daniel Caruso? I feel as though I've hit all the markers, but I feel as though I've missed one as well. It's so hard when you're flying blind, and I know them off by heart, and I know them when I see them, the logos pop up on my timing screen, but just sitting here trying to rattle them off, and we're thinking that next season's going to be Ford versus Corvette, and everything else is going to be ancillary. And I mean, this season it's been Porsche's the one that I didn't mention. It's been Ferrari, it's been Porsche, it's been BMW, it's been Audi, and then in the background you've got Lambo, McLaren, Mercedes, and Ford. I finally got the 8. Thank Christ for that.
Yeah. I was stumped. I'm sitting here going,
Porsche was the one that I was missing.
I was like, wait, which one? Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell. That's our cue to get out of here. I think we're well and truly past it. It's an early finish tonight. We only had 2 drivers pop their head in to say good day post-race here. That's fine. If no one wants to have a chat, there's no point us sticking around to do so just for the sake of it. We do what we do here with thanks to, as I've said on so many occasions before, the great people at Waste Options, at Spreyton Cider, at Orbic Australia, at Lobesy Racing, at M-Wave Australia, and at Flash Graphics. 5 different race winners across 5 races tonight. Main course delivered as it usually does at Snetterton. The dessert here at Coda was good in parts, but ended up just being an opportunity for Daniel and I to chat about all sorts of different things in World Motorsport throughout the course of the weekend. GSRC.inc is now live if you want to purchase any GSRC paraphernalia. Actually, what we need to get on, right, and this is no word of a lie, I don't know how much it'll probably break the bank. GSRC hoodies, right? Not hoodies, hoodies, right?
Oh, I agree.
And now,
I agree.
Don't tempt me with a good time, but GSRC hoodies is what we need to. That's my idea. That's my pitch. That's the little carrot dangling I'm going to put forward into the ring here. Because dead set, my sister brought me one for Christmas. It's a Simpsons one, so it's all yellow with all the scribble in black, obviously, for all the different characters. Beautifully done. Only got the chance to wear it properly last night because it's been too hot up here to even bother with it. And obviously it hasn't been. I mean, when you only get it for Christmas time, I left it in New South Wales until just coming up yesterday. Had it on down here last night because it's just crisp enough to be able to, wear winter attire overnight time up here in Ipswich at this point. Could have fallen asleep in the bloody thing. It was absolutely fantastic. Easily. So, 100%. So either gsrcmerch.myshopify.com or merch.tgsrci.com. That's where you need to go for all your merch. Hopefully we can convince someone to do some GSRC hoodies. If not, don't say I didn't try. I have not had a decent suggestion for that box, for the crew there in our merch department since the inception of the club, because everyone else is beating me to it. But hoodies, that's where it's at. You can stick your Ugg boots up your clacker. You can stick all the other, hoodies are now my new go-to. I mean, girls will have dressing gowns, blokes will have hoodies. It's absolutely fantastic. When I sit down and catch up on my home and away from the last couple of weeks, I'll be doing so in the hoodie. Let's have a look at what's coming your way on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club across Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, because the end of week 6 is a beauty, but week 7's a cracker as well. Tomorrow night, South Boston Speedway Oval, we can confirm that's bitumen. we can confirm it's for the Stock Car Series, the SRX Superstar Racing Experience. Race 1, 15 minutes. Race 2, 20 minutes full reverse grid. Top 10 invert for race 3 over 20 minutes. So same format as Formula V in terms of the race layout and the grid situation, but obviously slightly longer races for all three. 5 minutes longer. Race 1, race 2, race 3. 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Get out of there. Saturday night. Mountain Man, Mount Panorama. It won't be too long and we won't be worrying about the FR 500 Mustang anymore. We'll be just focusing on the GT3 equivalent. But the Mustang's in action on Saturday night for the Mountain Men from Mount Panorama, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 32 laps the journey there. On Monday night, we're back with you, continuing with the 7th round of the Super 2 and Super 3 GSRC Supercar Series from Portimao, the Algarve International Circuit, 7:35 Eastern Standard Time. We back that up at Suzuka, yes, Suzuka, with sprint racing in Waste Options GT3. We're bringing you the AM split first up for race 1, then onto the pro split for race 2, 11 laps for race 1, 18 for race 2, top 10 invert there in that second race as per usual. When we go sprint racing, we split it up. So race 1 will be the AM split at 8:30 Eastern, and then not long after that, about 8:55, 9 o'clock Eastern, we'll bring you race 2 from the pro split. We've got an extra 5-minute buffer there. We bumped the pro split server back 5 minutes starting time, just so that we can switch across from server to server, Adam Lavis and I, and bring you the best of both worlds on sprint nights. We're excited about that. Tuesday night, the Van Ryn Cup, the up-and-comers, the Ferrari 296 GT3s. Then yet to be confirmed, 10 minutes for race 1, 15 for race 2, 25 for race 3, full invert for race 2. That's from 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. We follow that with GT1 Civil War for Orbic Australia from the Autodromo in Monza, the Temple of Speed. 40 minutes the journey, 9:10 Eastern Standard Time, the race start for you. Wednesday night, Liam Banks and Daniel Correa back with you on broadcast from Magello for the Porsche 992 Cup Cards. That'll be good. Race 1, 15 minutes, race 2, 25, top 10 reverse grid, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for the Production Car Challenge. Not sure if you can classify the Porsche as a production car, but anyway, we're there. GT3 racing first up on a Wednesday night in the Porsche 992. Nice to see the Porsche back and racing at Magello as well. The more of Magello, the better. We've got it coming to Thursday Night Motorsport in a few weeks. Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps then for a 40-minute showdown in GT4 from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. And then next Thursday night, we've already previewed it, we've already detailed it greatly. What's the agenda there and what's coming up for you? Off to Virginia for races 19, 20 and 21 of Spreyton side of Formula V. Then on the Wings and Slicks for Super Formula Lights from Watkins Glen. Sprint racing across the board next Thursday night. Actually, no, sorry. That's just a typo on Daniel's part. It is a 40-minute sprint for Super Formula Light from the Watkins Glen Boot circuit, but that is without the bus stop chicane, so it's a full tilt back straight and a full tilt front straight, so it will be a very fast lap around there. Next Thursday night, 40-minute race for you for Super Formula Light. Now, just a memo as well, the AFL is going to be going down to the wire. The Doggies 12-16-88 trailing the Swans at 15-6-96, but the Swans have possession and just try to control it in the closing stages here to keep the Doggies out. They've fought back from about 18 points down, the Doggies. The NRL earlier this evening, that saw the Dogs get the job done over the Dragons. They demoralised them in the end, 44 points to 12, so a very comfortable win there for the Dogs. The Swans trying to put the ice on the cake here and get the job done in Thursday night AFL. A huge weekend of motorsport this weekend. Good luck to all and sundry. There's a lot to look forward to with, obviously, some national categories in action over at the Ben Motorsport Park. You'll see the Monaco Formula 1 Grand Prix on Fox Sports. You'll see the Indianapolis 500 on Stan Sport, and you'll see the Coke 600 for the NASCAR Cup Series on Fox Sports. Shane Van Gisbergen in action as well in the Xfinity Series. A lot to be excited about this weekend. We're excited. We hope you are as well. We're pumped for one of the biggest weekends in the real world calendar, but it then leads into the final 4 weeks of the opening half of our 2024 season. Week 7 of Term 2 is just a few sleeps away. Don't forget to join Joe Baldwin and Nick Fodiatis tomorrow from 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for the SRX stock cars. And one more note from me on the way out. Not sure who's filling in for me during the entree on Monday night. I won't be here because I'm juggling commitments with the Ipswich Jets. Coming straight from that into, hopefully with a quick bite to eat in between, into GT3. So I'll be here for the GT3, but not for the supercars on Monday night. But whoever's here filling in for me, thank you in advance. And you'll be in capable hands one way or another, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the crew, I hope you enjoyed Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club for Spreyton Cider. 5 different winners in 5 races, sharing the love. I've never known a better night out than that, ladies and gentlemen. Magnificent racing. Hope you enjoyed it. And look forward to your company again next week when week 7 gets underway. In the meantime, don't forget as well, we're only 3 weeks away from the next round of the GSRC Endurance Championship, Sunday, June 16th, from the Circuit de la Sarthe, running simultaneous with the Real World Le Mans 24-hour. There's some more announcements regarding that in due course as well. But for now, thanks for being with us. A slightly earlier finish than usual, but that happens sometimes, and we're not complaining. On behalf of Daniel Correa, Sarah, and all the crew, I'm Zach Caban. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Thursday Night Motorsport as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Bye for now.
Bye.